So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends, welcome to my channel. If you guys are new and if you guys are returning, I'm so blessed to be here to do your reading. Today we're looking at the person on your mind and how are they feeling about you. We'll be using charms and buttons, okay? And so my charms are in here and it will be a pick a card or pick an option. We have 3 options to choose from and I'm going to fill these up with the charms and the buttons. Okay, so we'll go through the process of asking Spirit for each of these piles what needs to come through in regards to the person on your mind and how they're feeling and thinking. Now, the readings sometimes come reversed, and it could be your own feelings and thoughts and your own energy. Okay, if that's the case, you can go check out another pile and you can listen to it if you want. That is up to you. I can't control that. Okay, so we'll ask Spirit, though, to stick to the person on your mind and what they're feeling and thinking about you through way of these charms. So let's begin. Option 1, option 2, option 3. If you're already called to any one of these 3, you can go select. Okay, but we'll be pulling from these charms and these buttons in order to give you your message. So Spirit, for option 1, person on their mind, the greatest and highest good, the person on pile 1's mind. What are they feeling and thinking? What's going on energetically with that person? Okay, option number 2. Option number 3. All right. Now, I don't like to look at them. I'm going to dig through this. Charms. Okay, we already got a Y sort of sticking to that one. For option 1, person on their mind, feelings, thoughts. Just giving it a good mix. For option 1, Spirit. Person on their mind, feelings and thoughts. Option number 2, person's feelings and thoughts. I feel there's a little bit more coming. For option 2, feelings and thoughts. Letting stuff fall on my lap here. And option number 3 is person's feelings and thoughts. Clear and concise message for option number 3, their person's feelings and thoughts. Oops, we had one fall on the floor. I'll go grab that. And we had a few fall in my lap as well. All right, so charm time. Just give it a good mix. For option number 1, Spirit, person on their mind. Option number 2, person on their minds, feelings and thoughts. Option number 3, person's feelings and thoughts. All right, that was quite the process. Oh, we have a 2. All right. So that was fun. Sit with this energy. Take as long as you need. And then I'll put the timestamps below and I will see you guys at your pick. Option 1, you guys picked this charm teacup and saucer set, and we're looking at the person on your mind and their feelings and their thoughts. So let's go through and pull these out, shall we? So let's just sort of, well, maybe I'll just dump them here, but if it's loud, just mute your volume. That's not too bad. Okay. This will help me sort of sort through it very quickly. So we have a couple of Z's, J. Now this could definitely, or G. Oh, and a J. This could be your person's initials. Okay, could be your initials. Take that as confirmation, but really I'm getting sleeping. So someone's sleeping on the connection here, potentially. Now let me lay them all before I start to really channel. Okay, but we have the number 2, we have a question mark, we have a plus sign, we have the 2 of Cups. Interesting, we have an archway, we have some candy here, we have some rope, just giving me hangman energy. And we have this totem pole. We have 2 major arcanas here, and we have the lovers, oh my goodness, and the 2 of Cups. And we also have the devil. Wow. So strong 6 energy, devil, lovers, Capricorn, Gemini energy. And we have a few hearts. There's another heart. And we have the skull and crossbones is giving me some Capricorn and Scorpio energy. And we have the 4-leaf clover. We have the double dolphins. And we have the buttons here. We have the old flame. Okay, it's like a flame that has a cane, like an old man, but it's a flame. So someone from a past, someone again sleeping, going very slow with the cane. Okay, a cupcake. Something very sweet. And we have the boot. Yeah, it could be somebody that we released. We have the magic glove, handling something delicately here. And we have the shadow person. And we have the bottle of perfume, which could be vanity here. So number 25, 38, 53, 32, 28, and 80. Okay, we have an anchor. And we have the Hamsa hand. We have the leaping antelope. And we have the cross here. 2 crosses. Okay. And then we have the monkey. And we have an airplane, we have a shell, we have some yarn, we have a skeleton key, we have a bull, some Taurus energy, we have a teapot or a coffee pot, we have a dog's paw or a bear paw, or a cat paw, an animal paw, love, the word love, and a hollow shell, and a full shell. Okay, seashell. And then we have a sunflower. We have a cat sitting on a moon. And we have an owl hanging from a charm. Owl gives me always wisdom. And Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. Moon is Pisces. And we have a leaf. And we have a sign that says camp with an arrow. So like a vacation or taking a detour even here, or an overnight. And then we have a girl. Okay, divine feminine. So let me sit with this energy and I will begin to channel what this message is in regards to how your person is feeling and thinking about you at this time. So I have to sort of arrange them in a way here that allows me to channel. Okay. All right, pile number 1. This is a kind of a beautiful energy, not kind of, it is a beautiful energy, but there is a little bit of shadow here. And I think the shadows just stem from fears, but I feel like what you're experiencing from this person is someone who is going very, very, very slowly. And you're like, okay, if they feel any intensity from me, why is it so slow? At times it seems like they're sleeping on this connection, or like stuck or dormant or like not showing their intensity here. And for a lot of you guys, I do feel like this is somebody that you've had an on again, off again, or someone from the past. And if you don't want to hear from someone from the past, then this might not be your pile. Okay. But there's a strong emphasis on past. And so if it's not somebody that you've had it on again, off again sort of thing, because this person hasn't yet made their way to you because they're still going very slow, it's because this person is still overcoming their fear of rejection. They might have got an experience with a past person or just feeling abandoned. Okay. And this has created this slowness, this lack of trust, regardless of their passion for you. There's a lot of passion with the devil in this fire here. Okay. So there's passion, there's intensity, but the fear is great. And there's this unhealthy way that I deal in relationship because it stemmed from the fears that I have. And so the fears that I have are controlling how I engage. But there's no doubt in this person's mind that's like, you're this Two of Cups person that they can experience a Two of Cups with. Okay, like they don't see anybody else in their world. And if they are slow, if they are not showing up, if they do seem like they're taking their time or stuck or stopped, it's not because they're wanting anything other than they're just fearful of what has happened in the past. And so now I'm cautious, now I'm slow, and now I'm impacted by these unhealthy beliefs I have about connection and being vulnerable. But this person is moving towards you. And I do feel like they have been hurt in the past, you know, and it could be, like I said, in this connection, you could have left this person, you know, or also what I'm getting is there's a big fear here that you might release them. So there's a big fear of abandonment, and this makes me go slow because if I fully commit, invest, and go 2 feet, and then you leave, then how do I manage this thing? However, because it is a slow burn, it's like, well, either which way, if you do decide to leave, then they're still going to have to deal with this whole thing. But in their mind, I'm feeling like they're thinking, well, if it's a slow burn, then you get as attached as I sort of get attached to. But it's an unnatural slowness here because this is not really allowing this connection to flow when we're moving so slow here and getting stuck. Okay, now, of course, like I said, the initials could be their name. The Z, the J, the G could definitely be their first, middle initial, yours. Okay. But I do feel like if it were up to them without the fear, they would passionately move towards you like very quickly here. And so this is a destined connection with the Lovers. And they're really being called to overcome their fear and be conscious when they choose this. And I think there's a lot of uncertainty because of the fear. And I also feel like this person is working through changing their perspective in regards to how they see connection and what is healthy and what stemmed from fear. And so I feel like this person might have in the past thought connection means holding me down or holding me back or holding me hostage in some way or feeling like stuck or roped to someone. Okay, especially too with the anchor. So I feel like it's like, how do I get a healthy understanding of what a committed flow looks like, trusting another to open my heart space without feeling weighed down by having to commit. So there's a need for them to know what healthy commitment looks like, stability, without feeling like they might get roped in or weighed down by a connection here that limits them from what they want in their world. So I feel like there is a health of this connection that needs to be experienced. This experience is only through a doing and an experiencing. It's not through a thinking. It's not through a wishful belief. It's through an experience of engaging. And so the more they engage in this connection, be it all slow as they go, the more the health of their way of connection becomes. Because I do feel like there's this need for them to overcome this sort of, if you want to call it a toxic way of seeing connection, you know, because it limits how committed they can be, how much of themselves can show up. And so I do feel like, again, with the 2, it's like the clamshell here is like solid and this one's open, and it's like opening up, being vulnerable, allowing someone in, and how to understand what a healthy boundary is, which means engaging without being defensive, engaging without closing up, but still being able to know what a healthy boundary looks. And I feel like because the 2, this definitely could be mirrored in regards to, not that you're closed off and all of this, but you might be overcoming a lot of your own devilly ways of engagement, which might not necessarily be healthy, that you're also learning through doing and experiencing with the Owl. And you might be the opposite of this person. You might be open, you know, but it's like learning the boundary, which is, how do I not overgive? How do I not let it all sort of come out here, so that I can sort of allow my energy to flow in a way that's flowing, but not overly in a way that drains me. Okay, because there's an endless supply of giving. Okay, and when we're in an energy of giving and receiving, okay, we have to be in both giving and receiving in order for it to be coming from the heart space. And when we are not able to receive, then the heart is not doing its true function. Okay, the heart pumps inwards and outwards. It's giving and receiving. The heart knows how to receive, which means I need to be connected to my self-love, self-worth. I have to receive, meaning I accept everything as it is. I don't try to change it because the heart accepts, it loves, and it doesn't try to manipulate and change. It's open. It's ready to receive energy as it is. It's ready to receive this person as it is. Okay, and if I can't receive, if I try to change and manipulate, then it's not from the heart space. Okay, but if I'm over giving, meaning I feel empty, I feel drained after, then it's not really coming from the heart. And so this is the type of boundary that we're learning. Okay, and the opposite of giving and receiving, which could be your person, is taking and keeping. Withholding, clammed up. So I need emotional energy from you, and then I close up. And so I can't flow and I can't give and receive. And you're learning giving and receiving, they're learning giving and receiving. So we can't be taking and keeping, and we can't be overthinking or overgiving, because there's no such thing as overgiving from the heart. There's just giving from transaction and ego, and then feeling drained, because there is some vanity ego here. Okay, there's some focus on the superficiality of what we're seeing in the 3D. And so if this is a spiritual connection, which I do feel it is with the Lovers and the Two Cups, Spirit is talking about divine connection is happening in the spiritual. Okay, and when it happens in the spiritual, that means the spiritual is the stuff that's getting sorted through. And if we're too much starting from the ground first, what I see in the 3D, the commitment I need, the things I'm seeing, Spirit saying, shift your perspective here. I know we're getting back into advice, but this is what's coming through. Shift your perspective here, because it's egoically driven when we're too focused on what we're seeing with our eyes in the 3D. That's the shadow and we're having to overcome, the ego shadow. That's starting from the pentacle, from the commitment, from how fast this person shows up and what they're doing and saying in the 3D. What are they doing and saying in the 3D? That's the devil. It's like, no, what's going on in the 5D is the spiritual, which must get worked through first. The shadow part, the part we can't see, the ego part here. And that's the part that's in transaction. That's the part that's in fear. That's the part that doesn't know how to give from an overflowing cup, meaning there's an endless supply of love in my heart. And when I feel like drained, or when I feel like when I give, I'm now lacking, it's now coming out of me and therefore I won't have it, that's not really from a heart space. And so this is what we're having to learn and overcome and see and know that we can give from an open heart. Okay, and so I feel like there's a need to manage this connection from an authentic place here. Okay, and really even with this cupcake, I'm feeling like sugary energy, this perfume sort of giving me ego, like I said, vanity. The sugar is like too much sugar, makes me feel sick. It's sort of this gluttonous energy. And then, the toxicity here, which could be like the devilly energy, which is like the sugar, where we're more focused on the pleasure feels and the senses. What I'm seeing, what I'm tasting, what I'm feeling, that's the shadow. That's the illusion part. It's like the 3D manifest will happen once the 5D spiritual side is worked through and seen through, the shadow seen through, which means the authentic self needs to be delicate here in dealing with what's going on in this connection. Okay, so I do feel like there is, with the Taurus here, these senses that come online. Some of you guys might definitely like to cook for your person, or they might be a good cook. Okay, they might like to cook pastries or bring you pastries, or I don't know, there's something about cooking that comes through sometimes every once in a while here. Okay, but I feel like there is a hedonistic type energy that comes through with the devil and this Taurus energy in the shadow. Okay, and it could be symbolic or a metaphor. The hedonistic here is like immediate gratification, and then I feel sort of sick about it because it's too superficial, and it's like it can't be just on the surface here. We need to dive in deeper. And now I'm getting, because your person might be like, when it comes to getting really deep or something, it's like, I'll just stick to the surface that I know. I'll stick to keeping it surface, without opening up and really getting deep, because look at this, that shelf fits in this one. And so it's like, I can open up just enough but the inner core part of me is still shut. That would be the superficial vanity type energy, the sugary energy, because sugar sort of is on top of the pastry, you know? I mean, you could make pastries too with sugar, but we sort of put it on top as a thing, you know? And it's like it eases or scratches the itch very superficially. But there needs to be deeper substance, which is this love. But if there's too much shadow here, then I can't engage in this way. Okay, I do feel there's also a stubborn energy here coming through, but I am feeling it from both ends here. Okay, so I'm feeling Hierophant from this traditional totem pole, but some of you guys might have like a Native background, Native American, Indigenous. Okay, oops. But it's really giving me like the traditions of our family or ancestors, and we could just be sort of needing to know what part of this tradition is being upheld just for sort of the sake of upholding a tradition. And because I do feel like a lot of you guys might have a traditional understanding of what commitment looks like. And so we start to build our world based on that sort of Hierophant learning. And Spirit is saying, like, there's nothing wrong with traditions and beliefs, but we must understand if we're creating our own sort of system based on our own experience. Yeah, even this candy, and I wasn't even seeing that. I'm sorry, back to this sugary thing, you know? So there's no doubt your person obviously is attracted to you, and all of that sort of more passionate, surfacey energy comes, but it's very intense, very strong. Okay, but I don't think you doubt this. It's like what's going on underneath, and there is true love here. Okay, but it's like this person needs to claim the connection and not fear the connection through a wisdom, and wisdom only comes through an experience, not through logic, not conceptually. Okay, we can know the knowledge, but when we don't integrate or experience the knowledge, it's just as knowledge. We just know it with our mind, but we don't inner experience it. Okay, so dolphins are soulmates here. Your person does feel like you're definitely their person. Okay, there's a mirroring happening in some regard to this connection, and I do feel it is in regards to our own traditional thoughts and beliefs, you know, around connection or our own self and what we want. Because I feel like with the monkey here, the monkey is really symbolic of like, well, it's magician because there's a monkey and the magician. Okay, so what we manifest in the 3D. So I'm getting that superficial thing. Okay, and nothing wrong with 3D, but it has to be aligned in the ethers, and it has to come from a place that when we do an intention of what we want to create, and we have to know where that creation is coming from, because if we're not sure and we're creating from whatever sort of is felt in that moment without doing the shadow work or the understanding, then we're really creating from the shadow, from the wound, or from the monkey mind. Okay, I have all these thoughts, all these ideas. I haven't examined all of these beliefs that got handed down to me, and I haven't examined this thing. And so I'm like manifesting out of that, you know? So I feel like your person wants control. That's why they're going slow. I feel like your person feels like the slower I go, the more control I'll have. They definitely have thoughts that get in their way. They definitely want to have their way. Okay, like have their way as in like, I fear doing it your way. I fear opening up and losing control. And this is all driven from my Hierophant of what I've been conditioned to believe, or a program of myself, or maybe handed down to me again, because we could create our own Hierophant though based on an upbringing and think that it's our own. It's like, no, it just got created as a protective way or as a coping way or as a belief that was never really examined because of our experience. And so Spirit is really saying this is what's driving this person's manifestation or lack thereof to be superficial. Okay, so it could be just a 3 cups experience here with this person. And so they're needing to transition to a newer understanding of a different way that they can engage. Okay, and I do feel like in order to do this, they're going to have to experience what they're experiencing. Because I feel like the fear is to be abandoned, to be rejected, and they don't want to experience this. Okay, even this heart has 2 like angel wings. It's kind of closing up like this. So it's like guarding the heart space here, but the guidance, which is the angel wing, the guidance is to look at the heart space, open up the heart space. Lots of hearts here, lots of love here. So there is love, no matter how much we want to paint it up as passion, or we want to avoid the depths of it or being vulnerable. we could be really just sort of sitting with this love and then blocking it by resisting the truth. And so I feel like this is a connection in regards to enlightenment and having to work with the divine in order to finally see the truth of what we're being called to see. Okay, and so if we turn towards the shadow, the ego, the fears, then we experience the disappointment. And we could be facing that way without realizing that we're actually not facing the light or facing the greater truth. And so because this is mirrored, Spirit is coming through with advice for you again. Are you facing the shadow or are you facing the light? And you'll know, because if you're facing the shadow, that means I'm more focused on the superficial, what my person's saying and doing, and all my senses, what I'm feeling, what I'm seeing. That's proving my reality. And it's like, yes, you're right. It is proving your reality. But in order for the reality to shift, we must shift the spiritual. The spiritual stuff needs to be understood and worked through. And then your 3D will form here. But if we're too focused on the 3D already without having the rest being sort of resolved, then we're going to continue experiencing falling short here. Okay, so we have strong Jupiter energy coming through with this 4-leaf clover, but I'm also getting March 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day. That could be a birthday or it could be a next milestone if you're watching at the time of this reading. Okay, of something in regards to what's experiencing with this person. I'm seeing an airplane, so it could be this person's going to travel towards you, move towards you, or there could literally be like air travel here. Yeah, like there could be, but I am seeing that date. But the Jupiter energy is Sagittarius, Pisces. Okay, and because there's like both that mix, it feels to me like Pisces is the emotional part, the dreamer, and Sagittarius is like going after it and having the fire and the freedom to explore what we want, not to be limited by the fear. And so I feel like there's dreams and there's feelings and there's depth, and it's like, go explore, go move towards this. Don't be so fearful to do this, because I feel your person's slow, stubborn, and feels very practical here, So it's like, whoa, what's this Pisces energy? What's this feelings energy? Very logical too, because I was getting Gemini, Libra, Aquarius with this owl. And so there seems to be a lot of logic. There seems to be a lot of groundedness. Okay, your person does seem fairly grounded, fairly practical, fairly logical. And so anytime the emotion sort of tries to push me somewhere, I feel dysregulated and I go slower, or I completely stop here. But I cannot suppress this passion and this desire. And it might express itself through like a superficial passion, and you might only see this and then think, oh, they're just a user, or they're just superficial, or they're just, lusty, or it's like, well, you might be seeing that, but this other side definitely exists with this person, but I don't think you see it. And I think this person's inability to choose consciously, that's the thing, but they can't until they resolve this shadow. They can't be conscious if they don't know that this is the fear and the Hierophant that's been getting them to manifest how they do. And what they're manifesting in this connection is slowness, stuckness, feeling overwhelmed or maybe weighed down or uncertain. And so they could not prioritize this connection. They could be going back and forth between you. They could be just sitting at a stalemate, not sure, and sitting there sort of humming and hawing, not very clear yet. And you're like, well, are they going to commit? Are they going to be clear? Are they going to choose? Are they going to prioritize? What are they going to do here? Okay, so here's the ball of yarn, and it's all wound up here. So automatically I thought of the cat, because a cat chases or plays with the ball of yarn. But this cat's back is to us, and it's sitting on the moon, and the yarn is undisturbed. So cats could be the intuition. Cats could definitely be the independent self. The self that feels like it can't, because cats don't like to be sort of controlled or anything like this. The cat is very, very independent. And so it's not even exploring this ball of yarn. It's sort of sitting on the moon. It's sitting with its fears. It's sort of frozen in its subconscious. So I feel like your person feels emotions, but the fear is sort of louder here, keeping them sort of stuck rather than exploring and playing in this connection to figure out and find out. And that's what's required here. It's like the more this person experiences this connection, the more wisdom they're going to have when it comes to how to engage in connection. But the fear keeps me here because I don't know if I'm going to, if I expose myself in this way and open up, then all of a sudden it's like it was the wrong move. So there's caution about involving themselves in the wrong way that might expose them to being vulnerable here. Okay. But we have this teapot or this coffee pot, which is interesting because we have the teacups. The teacups generally is in regards to communication. It could be a 2 of cups that's like, we're expressing communication or having a moment where we sit and share communication amongst each other. Your person could definitely be a tea drinker or a coffee drinker because sometimes they get a coffee pot as well with this thing. Some people put their coffee in there. Okay, so there's pain, and I think there's pain on both sides. Okay, the cross in the Lenormand talks about the burdens we sort of carry, the past, which was past suffering that we might have had to experience has created our suffering and our understanding what suffering looks like. And so we might have our own cross to bear, but it's really, it only stays alive. This is created by the past, okay? But it's only created alive as long as our belief in what has happened stays alive, because in the present moment, there is no past. There is no past. Yes, we wanted the wisdom from the past experience in order to engage in the present moment in a way that is full of discernment and where we feel confident. But when we carry the cross, it's like the past is impacting this connection. And I feel for both of you guys. So you could definitely have like past Hierophant, past understandings, past pains, and it could be pains with this person that you're still attached to or understanding as a pain. And Spirit's saying, as long as we hang on to past pains, we're interjecting this present moment with it. Okay. And as long as we do that, then we're not reacting in the present moment. We're just responding to the past. And as long as we respond to the past, this connection cannot move. This person's going to be mirroring you. It's going to be stuck here or stopped. And so once we detach ourselves from the past, doesn't mean we've completely forgotten and get stupid. Of course, we've learned, but we're not attached to it. We're not holding it hostage. We're not interjecting this present moment with past ideas and thoughts and hierophants of the past. Okay, beliefs and assumptions and projections of the past. Once we remove it, your person is going to have to mirror you in some way. So they can't be just here floating because you're going to show up in a way that's not the past. But if you show up in the past, they're showed up in the past. Okay, past pain or past whatever. Spirit's saying don't lose faith in this connection either, because it is something that is meant, destined to work through this. That's what this is about. So lots of karmic energy to work through this thing. But I feel like there's a strong attachment or strong past influence. There's lots of fear we're having to overcome and get empowered. And so this antelope, leaping antelope, which has horns, and I don't know that the female antelope has horns. I think only, or antlers. I think only the masculine. It's giving you masculine energy, but regardless if you're born female or male, it's the masculine energy, which has us having forward momentum. It has us empowered to take action. And this is like leaping, and it almost feels to me like leapfrogging over what might seem like an obstacle and not letting it sort of keep us stuck or slow down. And so I feel like your person has the ability to overcome their obstacle once their confidence is sort of built up here. And the only thing that's really getting in their confidence right now is the past. And I feel like you're mirroring something like this to them right now. And so this doesn't allow them to see a different mirror. And so Spirit's saying you can manifest a new mirror today. And your mirror doesn't have to be on past and hierophants. Your mirror can now turn your face to the sun, which is enlightenment. And enlightenment is what? Is the state of godliness, okay? God, source, state of love, source, state of truth. And so what's the state of truth? The truth is when my heart is open, I can give and receive from an endless supply. I'm not restricted. I'm not feeling drained. I'm not in a belief here that there's lack or that I'm overextending or all of this stuff, because then that's devil, then that's shadow. And so as long as you're shadow, you're reflecting a shadow to this person. That's what you're manifesting, more of that type of an energy. So Spirit says, if we want to transition to the other side, we have to examine our own energy here. Okay, now, of course, your person is their own autonomous being, but you're holding this mirror and this spiritual connection. So in order to be conscious, we have to be enlightened, meaning we have to see the truth. Consciousness happens when we sit with truth, when we see clearly. But when we see shadows, we see distortion. When we see fear, we are not seeing clearly. And so I feel like you're needing to face the light, not the shadow. And so this will help mirror to this person a truth, so they can work through their past pains and their abandonments. And I do feel like Spirit is saying, this is the actual lesson of this connection. This is the key to the new experience. Okay, because the key is the knowledge, but to the owl is the wisdom. And it's like, what are we going to do with the experience of the past and the knowledge that we've honed from the past? Are we going to sit with that and then be too fearful and just stare at it and hold it as something that hurt me? You know? And you could be mirroring this type of thing, because Spirit is saying, no, now that we've experienced it, we have the knowledge. Now let's use this in order to release ourselves and free ourselves of any of the baggage so that we can experience this new experience. Okay. And so I do feel there's stubborn energy just with the bear paw here, because bears are definitely stubborn. This Emperor energy. I was also getting Emperor from the antlers. And it's also getting some stubborn energy from the bull. So there seems to be someone who really wants control here. And maybe this is the obstacle we're trying to overcome, like the need for control so that I'm not vulnerable, or the need for control so I'm not abandoned. And so this is why I'm slow. I don't want to be abandoned. I don't want to experience what I experienced in the past. And this could just be the only hang up here, you know? And so, yeah, Spirit wants us to know, how are we utilizing this information? And so the camp with an arrow. Camp could mean like when we go camping, sometimes it's on the weekend, sometimes it's for a break, sometimes it's like in order to recuperate. It could be like we're sort of getting some downtime away from our regular sort of life or city life. So there could be a lot of reflecting going on right now, and it's sort of like this detour. But I feel like we could be sitting in this camp for quite some time. And maybe you're really wanting answers here because things are really not moving and it feels stuck and sleepy, and your person is just slow. And you're like, I know they have passion here, but why are they slow? You know? And yeah, they're hurt. How will they overcome this thing? And Spirit's saying, you're off in camp. And so they're off in camp. And what does that mean, you're off in camp? That means you're off maybe thinking you're doing a hermit, or thinking that this hiatus or something like this, there's a hibernation. Yeah, and so Spirit wants you to know, if there's a time off, a separation, or I'm calling it hibernation because I'm seeing the bear in the camp, we're off separate right now. Spirit says this is the time where insight is gained, because we can look back on what we've experienced, the knowledge that happened between the two of you guys, so that there could be an integration, so that you guys can come back and learn another cycle. But if we're hibernating and we're off over here, waiting for the other person to do something because they're the ones slow, they're the ones stuck, they're the ones in pain, they're the ones in shadow, Spirit's saying you're going to sit here and camp forever, because your mirror has to be a conscious mirror. And what does that mean? That means you're going to manifest exactly what you see. If you see slowness, you're manifesting the slowness, the stuckness. And no, you can't control your person, and you're not the one doing it, but you're holding the mirror. And if this is a divine connection of two, then your mirror is going to reflect back to this person their state clearly. And I feel like you have the power in order to manifest a shift and a change. And so you don't need to be in hiatus doing hermit work. When you understand what it is that you've already understood here, there's time to shift your perspective. And your perspective is in regards to self. And the self is, how am I in shadow? How am I being superficial by looking at the material or attached to what I see in the 3D? Whether they commit, whether they're defensive, whether they're saying this or doing this, then we're not really coming from the spiritual side angle with the open heart of giving and receiving, not wanting them to be different. Yes, we would wish that they would heal. We don't want anyone in pain and shadow and suffering, of course. We don't want people in toxicity, but we can't control them. We can't wish that they were different in a way of, I'm going to sit here and not accept how they are. We accept what is. And when we accept what is from a true place, then that's the heart. The heart accepts what is. The heart is open. It allows things to be. And so this will require some feminine energy. And I feel like we might both be in masculine energy. And this is the stubbornness. This is like, I'm going to force my will my way to be what it is that I want it to be, because the Hierophant, it has the manifestation power right now, rather than the feminine within me that allows things to flow. It's not trying to control anything. It's keeping an open heart in order to give and receive love, so there could be new growth and a beautiful experience here. Leaves talk about new beginnings, okay? But we have to sometimes see the shedding of the old fall away. Like in the fall time, the leaves fall in order for the new foliage to grow. And so I feel like we might be experiencing where something had to fall away, which isn't pleasant, and that's the falling away of the Hierophant. The falling away of the old self, the falling away of the vanity self, or the ego self, or the shadow self, because that's what keeps us in fear. And so how's your person feeling? Your person is mirroring you, a part of you that I feel is still learning this part, so that they can then consciously, because once you hold that mirror, it's still up to them to be conscious. They could either deny what they see, okay, but it's in our innate nature not to just be in blind. When we see something in truth, it's our human nature to be in line with truth. But if we don't see it, we're asleep. If we haven't been shown the conscious mirror, then we don't know any different. We just think we're doing the right thing. This feels right. It's controlling. It makes me feel safe. I'm empowered, and I'm really in shadow. But when you hold the mirror and you're like, no, dude, you're acting out of shadow. This is really past pain that's making you feel a certain way. And just hold that mirror. You don't got to say it. You don't got to force them. You accept them as you are. That's the conscious mirror. I accept you. Then it's like, whoa, you hold the mirror up to me of what love actually is. Love is opening. Love is receptive. It doesn't need control. And then I'm like, why am I controlling here? I look at myself. I go off on my hiatus and I look at why I'm controlling or why I'm doing this. And then I see the truth, and I can't deny the truth once it's shown to me. And then I have a conscious choice whether I want to engage in the same way or I want to be different. And I feel this person would want to be different because this is suffering. Your person doesn't want to sit here. The health of this connection needs to shift in regards to how they're engaged in connection. And when you shift and hold this more heart-based love, this person will shift too, because this is all about a different perspective of how we engage in connection, rather than feeling stuck or feeling like roped to someone or attached to someone or bound to someone from unhealthy understanding of what love is. And so this is the destined lover's lesson. Like, we have to be conscious to get to this crossroads to choose each other. Otherwise, we're just engaged in a transactional, fear-based dynamic. And you could find those everywhere. This isn't about this. This is about an enlightened, conscious connection. Okay, very spiritual here. And also I feel masculine energy. I know this is the Hamsa, so spiritual, but the hand to me, talking about the accountability, the responsibility, and the doing, regardless if we're male or female. It's like we're accountable for our own energy. And I feel like Spirit's really blending the spiritual with the 3D by saying you're spiritual, you're 5D, your understanding of heart and connection, the truth, is going to manifest here what you see in the 3D. And so if I start on the 3D saying what it's not, what he's not doing, or what she's not doing, or how it's slow, or how it's this, and how it doesn't look that way, and it looks this way, and he's not committed, and that's wanting the 3D to change without shaking hands with the spiritual. So we must navigate through the spiritual. And so if that means we got to take time and go hibernate in order to reflect spiritually, is my heart in giving and receiving? Is it in flow state? Or is my heart in taking and keeping? Or I'm giving and then I feel drained because I think I'm giving, but I'm not giving from the heart space. The heart will never feel drained for giving love. It's an endless supply of love. The only reason we'd ever feel drained here is if we're giving from a place of transaction. I need something from you. Okay? So I feel like there's this, I'm also feeling with the twos, like I'm feeling highs and lows, and I'm feeling like sugar crash. And so it's like maybe this person shows up and it's like feels good, is passionate. I don't know if it's intimate or whatever you guys experience. Okay. And then it's like maybe they go and they fuck off for a little bit, and you're like, oh, they're up and down, or they're not committing, or they're hot and cold, or it's like, it's just superficial. It's like, no, it's not superficial. There's something deep. But yes, in the 3D, it might only be showing us superficial because we're needing to experience the truth. And the truth is, this is a very spiritual connection. And so we must connect to the spiritual side of it, even if that takes a long time reflecting, so we can finally see the truth. And the truth is that is the godlike nature of our heart. So we must face that first and sit with that and understand that. Not face the shadow part and see like that's true and keep our head faced to the shadow, to the fear, to what we're not seeing in the 3D. What we're not seeing in the 3D isn't truth. That's the shadow. Sticking to the knots. That's scarcity. It's not this, it's not that, it's not going to be this, and it's not that. It's like we need to broaden how we see and shift how we see. It's everything that I want it to be right here, right now. And I'm going to accept everything as it is right here, right now, so that the energy can shift and breathe and change. And I could be engaged with it when it's flowing. I can't be attached, restricted like this devil, because it'll forever sort of stay in this limited space. And so in order for it to grow and expand and move and flow, like this feminine energy, I must give it room to breathe by seeing that it could be all things. Okay, not being in denial and saying, I'm just going to bypass that. It's, like we could be bypassing, okay, but it's like bypassing that there's a reality here. Reality in the 3D is, yes, your person could be moving slow or be stuck. That's what you're seeing in the 3D. Nobody's denying that. But there's also a greater truth, which means there's a 5D happening and there's a spiritual connection also online here. And that part is much alive. And when that part is honed in and understood and sat with, we're moved from the superficial vanity part so that we can start to manifest differently here, from more spiritual rather than from the Hierophant. Okay, and then commitments come and security comes when we start to see it differently. Then we're both able to show the mirror to each other, not from pain body, not from past experience, but from a desire to be autonomous and free on our own, but work with other from an independent, beautiful energy where we're not needing, attaching, clinging to someone else to give us our freedom or to love us so that I can love myself. Something about leaping here. Where's the antelope? Okay, and the dolphins are leaping. So I feel like there's an overcoming of an obstacle, okay? And the overcoming of the obstacle, you guys will both do together. And because you're both doing it together, it's like we have to empower ourselves. We have to sit in the energy of getting empowered to face the truth. Okay, like the truth is in like, not the fear part of what's telling me what I'm seeing, the lack of commitment and all that stuff. That's not true necessarily. That's shadow. That's my fear talking. That's me looking to the 3D and expecting it to just shift on its own. I'm empowered to be the master manifester. So I'm not going to get in my monkey mind. I'm going to allow myself to take this spiritual energy and create something here, not from a doer, but from a holding a vibration of greater truth. This way I face the truth. And now I hold this conscious mirror. And when I hold the conscious mirror, and then my person can see differently. Okay, because I feel your person is feeling like they're in fear right now. And they wouldn't say that they're in fear, but the only thing they're safe in engaging is superficially right now with you. Okay, so beautiful angel, this is your reading. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you were drawn to another pile, I will see you there. All right, bye-bye. Hello, pile number 2. You guys picked this teacup charm set right here. We'll get into your reading, and we're looking at your person on your mind, their feelings and their thoughts through the charms, okay, and the buttons. So let's take a look. Now, I'm going to sort them just so I can channel them, okay? So we have friends, we have the 3 pentacles, and we have these initials here, TY, TV, UR, and we have something stuck here in this letter of the U. Okay, this could be your person's initials, but it could be what I'm going to use to channel here. It could be your own initials. We have the pound sign or the hashtag. We have the email or a letter, messaging, communication, and we have the dice, although it fell in the number 4. So we could be looking at some divine masculine, some Aries energy. 4 is all about stability. We have another dice here. Interesting. I'm getting Aquarius energy, Fool energy, and that's on the 1. Okay, we have a black star. So more Aquarius energy, although black star could be losing some form of hope here or not seeing how to get to what we want or a vision of what it is we desire here. Could be losing hope. So we have the button of the dress. This could be talking about vanity and ego, okay, with the dress. And we have poison bottle. So what we consume potentially here might be something that's toxic in some way, okay. And then we have the salt and pepper shaker, or 1 shaker here, salty. And we have the on E for gas, the fuel tank or the fuel gauge, I guess. And then we have a cupcake that came out for pile 1 if you guys were drawn. And then we have word, someone hanging on every word. So we have the number 6, 78, 40, 62, 38, and 33. 33 is a master number. Reproduction, creativity, humor, Christ consciousness, joy, and harmony. We have an ivory turtle. Okay, this is a sea turtle. Turtles are all about protection and longevity. We have a car. Could be about movement, travel. Well, sailboat, more movement, more travel. We have this gold star now. We have the shadow and the shadow self and the whole potential self with the gold. Gold is our highest potential, the high self. This is gold master. So in master, we have a full sort of ability to manage our emotions in a way here that we've mastered, have a level of self-mastery. Okay, we have this guardian angel. And this pewter stone, and I think it's New Mother. Yeah, New Mother. So Mother energy is divine feminine energy. New is obviously a new beginning, and then divine guidance. Okay, so we have the prescription RX. So we have the poison, and then we have the prescription. Interesting. We have a peace sign. We have a tidal wave. And we have a butterfly, all about freedom and transformation. And we have, I'm pulling all the hearts from this thing. We have 2 hearts. One has a heart with an arrow through it, which could be a 3 swords. Okay, or it could just be a suddenly just our emotions sort of driving us in a way here that's like struck by Cupid's arrow, unexpected love. Okay, but I'm also feeling 3 swords, which means painful. Okay, and we have 2 hearts, apple shaped like hearts. All right, we have a 4-leaf clover, some Jupiter energy. This also came through for pile 1, Sagittarius Pisces energy. We have a purse. I'll put by the dress because it could definitely be talking about some form of vanity. We have another purse. So purses is sort of where we store immediate things we might need, you know, in our purse, very personal things. Don't just let anyone go through our purse. Okay, we have Big Sis. So interesting. New Mother, Big Sis, feminine energy. And we have a skeleton key with 2 hearts. It's giving me these hearts. So key is all about knowledge and how we utilize the knowledge. And then we have this divine timing. But it's looking a little bit like an anchor of sorts. Okay, we have a crown, which is empowerment, divine masculine or divine feminine. We'll see what we channel. A tree, talking about health, stability, security. And we have the moon and a star, more star energy, more Aquarius. Moons talk about the fears, subconscious emotions. We have the Eiffel Tower. And so the Eiffel Tower was meant to be a temporary sort of structure here, although that's not what it became. Okay, but also Paris, which could be symbolizing like love, Venus sort of energy with the Paris. We have a seahorse. Seahorses, some species mate for life here. We only see one seahorse. And we have a fairy and a ballerina and a yoga tree position. I do believe that's the tree position in yoga. Okay, but the ballerina is here and she has a backside. I'll put her with the dress, the yoga person, and the fairy. Lots of feminine energy. We have a flower. We have a lizard. Could be talking about spirituality, the dream state. We have a dove, although it could be a hummingbird as well here with this bird. Oh my goodness, I didn't even see this. Look, a hummingbird. I wasn't sure if this was a dove or a hummingbird. It's feeling hummingbird energy, so hummingbird. Okay, could definitely be how we're engaged in life in order to get the nectar we need out of life. Okay, but through grace and through how it is that we engage. We have the two dolphins, and they're creating a heart. Dolphins talk about soulmates, mirrored relationships, and we have a bottle opener. Okay, but it looks like a Swiss Army bottle opener here with all of the different things that come out of it. And then we have this screwback earring with all these rhinestones, but this is wheat, which is giving me Virgo harvest energy with the wheat gold. Beautiful. Okay, let me channel this energy and see what we see of how your person is feeling, okay? Just give me a minute. Okay, beautiful angel. I feel your energy very strong here, but of course you can apply it as you see fit. It could be switched, okay, but I feel a strong divine feminine energy here, but I do feel the divine masculine energy as well, which feels like the person maybe you came here about, okay, but I'm not getting a whole lot on that energy, but I am getting some, and so maybe Spirit's sort of showing us what's gone on here in regards to this. So I'll start with the smaller energy of the person. I feel like, and this could be the way you're seeing this person, okay? Because it does feel a lot like projection. It feels to me like you're dealing with someone. Again, this could be projection, okay? Like is keeping you sort of in a friend zone here, okay? With the 3 pentacles and friends. Or you could be asking about a friend for sure. It doesn't always have to be a romantic relationship, but it seems, or maybe you know this person from work. But either way, it's like there's a certain level in which it's at. And I feel like you potentially are like not seeing how this person can move forward in this connection, because I do feel like potentially there is this desire to move things and progress things from where this person is at. I feel like this person is in an energy here that does feel like they're in their comfort zone. I feel like this person is having to work through a lot of their beliefs of themselves, that don't believe in themselves being able to enjoy happiness in order for them to experience their full potential and go after this connection. They'll have to resonate with a part of themselves that I feel this person is working through and has been working through. I don't feel they're stuck when it comes to this part. I feel like this person is working through building their own energy, because they have been driven by fear, and fear has been guiding them, and the guidance hasn't been in the direction of the vision of a future that they could create with you. And so this doesn't mean that they don't wish to have a future with you, or that their greatest desire isn't imagining a future with you. This means their belief in lack, and what they can create is stemmed from an understanding that has been their sort of go-to, their standard. And this standard is keeping them safe, and their standard is limiting what they can say to you and how they communicate with you, because I feel it's very limited. And so I feel like this person feels very blessed for you. I feel like this person feels almost like you're this too good to be true energy. Okay, like with this TV and this like gold star, because this is like the ultimate sort of ideal thing that I haven't learned how to reach or don't believe. Okay, now of course it's a falsity, it's a projection, and all we see is our own shadow and how we fall flat or disappointing, and we can't reach that. So I don't even try, but I like to watch you. Okay, and I do feel like if you're not talking to this person, because I feel like a lot of you guys, I was like saying, feeling your energy or moving on and healing from something here, because I do feel this person watches you. Okay, I'm getting that Page of Swords energy, so they could snoop, they could be asking your work friends or your social media friends or your common mutual friends or your family, or just even if they don't know, they're like just observing you from a distance, trying to gain information. Even if you're in communication with them, there's more this person is trying to gain from your energy here. Okay, because I do feel this person admires you, and I do feel like this person sees you almost as someone they can't engage with or be with because they're not at your level. And so I feel like this person, I just saw run here, even though I know this is hashtag, but it's like I do feel they're running, okay, energetically, because again, that's this keeping things friends, or like making you feel like they're just kind of in your friend energy, is really a form of running away from themselves when they run from this connection. I feel like for some of you guys, this could be because I am seeing internet. This person could be like post a lot on social media. They could be like an influencer. Okay. But I feel like regardless of how they show up, because they could be an influencer and appear to have a lot of confidence, but underneath there could be just this for show, Yeah, even with TV, they could be an entertainer, an actor, a YouTube influencer, whatever, the social media, there's some form of, even here, oh my gosh, now the channel is really opening up. I feel for your person, okay, unless, like I said, it could be flipped. I feel like your person has to put on a show. That's how they feel. They have to put on a show. And so it's hard for your person to stay grounded in the practical world in a way that's healthy, because they could get carried off into a world that isn't necessarily the best for them, depending on who's around them and who's projecting onto them. But do they have to develop a strong core in order to be involved in how they're involved? Because if we have a strong core and a strong belief in who we are, then we can't get swept away by external sort of things happening. And this is why if we are given power, or if we're given some sort of role, it could really fuck with our heads, And I feel like your person could have never healed or developed a strong core sense of self and got thrown into the role potentially where they're observed by a lot of people and they're having to be in a certain way here, but it could be at the expense of their own understanding of what they need and want, which is in their highest potential. And so it's like, but I am asked to toe this line. I'm asked to put on this performance. I'm asked to look a certain way. And what I hold close to me, many people might not see or understand. And so I do feel like there is a comfort zone here that this person is in, because if they go too far outside the comfort zone, then they're exposed in a way here that could leave them sort of vulnerable in this world that they've created. And so I do feel like your person could do a lot of traveling for sure. They could be well off, like well known, or just they have to, I'm getting networking here as well. So I don't know if it's just a lot of movement in a day, but I feel like this is that run energy, because it's like they use this lifestyle of busy activity or posting or this fantasy lifestyle. Okay, it is what they're doing, but it's a fantasy because it's a coat. It's their persona. And they use it as like the covering method of being distracted or keeping themselves busy. so that it keeps them in this run state and they're running from their truest self, is really stemmed from fear, but they're being guided. Okay, and they do see you like admire your energy, this big sis. It's like you're the guiding light here. Of course, you're following spirit, but I feel like they're divinely guided towards your energy because you seem like a more ascended version of authenticity, truth. And so your way is the answer. Your way is opening the heart. Your way is showing them how to engage differently. But there's an overwhelm of emotions. There's a need for them to reach their truer state of empowerment, not from a place of persona and falsity or too preoccupied with how they'll look. And I feel like they want it. They see you as someone they want to be inspired to be on the inside core, because I do feel like you're more embodied than this person. I think you live your truth, you walk your truth, you speak your truth, you embody it according to them, how they see you. And so it's like on the inside is kind of what you're seeing on the outside of you. And with them, it's like my inside is one thing. And they see it more like this contrast because of the fact that their outside persona is being required to be a certain way. So I don't know how close you guys are in the physical, because some of you guys are connecting on dream space. And I do feel a gap here between you and this person. Like I said, it doesn't even feel like you guys are together here. And so maybe this is why this ship in this car, because there's great distance. You might have to like go over a body of water even maybe. Okay, but it could just be the emotional distance, because they seem smaller than you energetically here on the core, even though they're not, but it's like because it's underdeveloped. And it's like I look at you like a guiding big sister, but it's not that it's platonic here, but the big sister meaning the divine empress energy, the feminine energy that's like guiding, that speaks to my heart, that feels very familiar, feels very innocent here. Because what I'm not really seeing just yet is like fire, passion, and all of that stuff. I'm feeling like this, almost like this awe of your energy and learning from your energy and observing this beautiful energy of yours. Yeah, and even like hanging on every word. But I feel like I'm getting two things from this, because I feel like your person might have a heavy cane, meaning their words and what they do is really publicly seen. And so they have to sort of, well, they don't have to, but they might feel as though they have to be very cautious what they say and do because they're public persona. And so people may hang on their every word, or what they say and do. But I also feel like they're hanging on every word sort of that you say spiritually, because it keeps reflecting back to them a great truth, and they can't deny a great truth. So I feel like you're the medicine to their own poison, and it's coming through strong words like this poison, but it's like the ego's the poison, the false self, the part that it feels it needs to perform in order to be at peace or truthful. And I feel like your person is tired, and I feel like your person sometimes feels like they can't keep going, and I feel like you energetically, emotionally charge this person and spiritually charge them, because I feel like spiritually this person isn't rich. I feel spiritually this person's on empty for sure. And the more they live in this lifestyle, the more it sort of takes away, spiritually it's poisonous in some way here. And I feel like you're the medicine. I feel like this person really wants some form of peace and harmony in their world. And I also feel like if there is tension between you, it's like, I just want to feel peace between us. I don't want there to be tension between us, I don't know why there would be, unless this person is the one that's creating it. But at the same time, it's like their truest desire is to have peace. And so there's a lot of dream energy, spiritual energy, emotional energy. So there could be definitely strong telepathy here. Okay, and I feel like this person was just struck by your energy and this need to deal with their way that they engage in relationship, because I feel it's been false. And I feel it's hurtful for them, and it's still hurtful. I feel like they still have an arrow in their heart that they're needing to deal with. And it's like, the way they engage in love, it feels kind of superficial, or this is the only way that I know how to do it. Okay, especially also with this cupcake, which is fairly superficial. and it's not fulfilling. And so it's 3 cups. It's like, I know how to do a 3 cup here, you know, and then after I'm still hungry. And so there could be resentments from the past experience in a past life or in a past relationship. I'm not sure when the arrow was struck, but the saltiness comes through as something we might need to heal because we're still resentful or upset by. So I'm feeling Pisces energy, High Priestess, and with this fairy, okay, and this guidance here, this angel, but also Sagittarius energy. Because I feel your energy is very graceful, spiritual. It feels very magical here. Okay, and I'm also feeling a lot of earth with this tree, which is Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. But I feel like your person, there's a lot of things now going on. Oh yeah, and then even the butterfly is giving me Pisces energy and Scorpio. Lots of water. But I feel like this tree is also your person's physical. Like, I don't know. Maybe your person is really physically built, like looks vanity wise, something about looks here, but their vessel isn't necessarily healthy, because I feel like spiritually, like I said, if they're empty, it takes a toll on their physical health, and so they might not be sleeping very well. In fact, they might be getting really strong, like intuitive nudges and pulls towards what is unhealthy in their world, and then feeling discomfort by it. And it's like, I want peace. I want peace. How do I find it? You know? And they might be leaning on you energetically, like I said, emotionally for this peace, which they're having to find on their own. Yeah, like look at these 2 hearts. One is full and one is sort of empty. Okay, but the full one has a little bit sort of taken out of it. And I feel like this person might be like a little bit of a leech here on you energetically. You know, like they might be a little bit of a leech here because of the pain that they're experiencing. It's like, you can bring to me the nectar. You can bring to me the peace I need because of the thing I'm experiencing, rather than finding it sort of myself. And so I'm getting a very superficial energy again, like I said, with this tower, this Eiffel Tower that was meant to be sort of temporary and remained here. And so there's something about your person getting stuck in the vanity of it, or in the image of it, or the persona of it, and then believing that that's sort of where they need to stay or be or do, and they're being called to see beyond that. And I'm also now seeing I know this is like prescription, but like prescription glasses, but X-ray, because I feel like there's a need to see beyond the ego or beyond the temporary superficiality of something, and X-ray vision to see the truth. And the truth is the core of this thing, which is the nectar. The nectar is the pure abundance that's in there, and you know how to go make your own abundance. You know how to pull this sort of nectar out of life and its truth and what it gives to you, and its vitality and health. And I feel like your person's pull of this thing is like pulling from like a rotten well, or like, I don't know, it doesn't feel like it's clean water, you know, toxic water, which means my emotions are sort of sitting there stagnant, and I keep pulling from the same stagnant well, the same people or the same stories, or maybe it's an echo chamber that supports my belief in some way, and so I can't break out of this thing. This is kind of what I'm feeling. And this is why we have like pumps in water, so that the water doesn't become stagnant, and it could bring in new water. So, but this feels almost like, you know, when water gets stagnant, it gets poisonous and toxic. It's like a need to agitate the water. So flowers are all about new beginnings. And I feel like you're blossoming. You're this beautiful flower. I feel like you've gone through transformation. I feel like like this person, I don't even know like if this is like romantic at all. I got to read it how I see it. Like maybe it's romantic, but and it's not saying this person doesn't feel the romantic feelings, but what I am channeling here is you being in an energy that somebody wishes they could be, and seeing you, and maybe it's a projection in this light of in your full capacity, and wanting and wishing that they could be like this, so that they can have a wish and a desire and a hope too, to reach some sort of vision of the future that they can't believe in themselves to do. This could even be two aspects of yourself, okay? It doesn't have to be, but it could be. So, but I do feel like this person is thankful to have you in their world. And I do feel like there's something about you being separate from this person, having to create your own world here and sort of being at the mercy of the divine guidance, divine timing. And I don't even know, like, have you guys met each other? That's how separate it sort of feels here for me. And so your person's really being asked to pry open the contents of the core of the truth, the nectar, the purity, the abundance of the truth, but they got to pierce through it and open it up. Don't just like put a label on the tin and believe what that is, because that's what it seems superficial. It's like, actually, it's poison inside, you know? It's coming through very strong, but I mean, those are the words that Spirit's using here. So we see two purses though. And so, like I said, we don't just let anyone sort of go through a purse, and we carry very specific items in our purse. But purse to me talks about the ego again, because some people collect those purses and they got to show off this purse, you know, in some way. But it's like, what's the contents of their purse? And there's two here. So it's almost like there's two personalities. And they're having to learn to, because nobody carries two purses. We carry one. And it's what we need, which would be the purity or the nectar. We would never carry just like, I don't know, like a whole bunch of markers and gasoline in the purse. Like we'd carry like things we need, like our wallet, some tissue, maybe some whatever we need in our thing. And so the only reason we need two is if we're carrying baggage we don't need. And we're still sort of dragging this thing around. Okay, but also it could be like we don't want to lose ourselves. You know, when the masculine says his balls are in her purse. So it's like the masculine self getting sort of, what's it called? Not to demasculate it. What's it called? This person is giving away their own power here by how they're engaged in their world. And I don't think they realize this whole thing, that it's up to them what sort of persona they want to follow and the truths they want to believe. And your energy is like able to reflect this back to this person so they could see the truth of who they are, because there is an answer that they're needing to accept and use this information in order to see themselves differently so they can experience life differently. This is very divine. It's very much showing them this so that they could create differently in this world and see the core of who they are and the truth of what's going on in them, so they could become the gold master of their life, you know, in their higher capacity here. And so I do feel like there's a harvest to be had at the end of this experience. Okay, but the wheat must grow, meaning like the thing in which we're having to harvest has to be this beautiful, abundant thing, and then we can reap the rewards of this thing. But I'm already seeing the harvest here, and so this person is either projecting that you have it all or you already have what you need. Again, the energy, you already have what you need, you know, but it's like then we're still in the shadow saying that I'm not worthy or I'm incapable in some way to experience the truth. And so they're really being called to focus on their own truth, the core of who they are, and step out of this world that maybe they feel is very secure and stable already, but it's really, that's the thing that's creating this distortion in them. They don't need to stay put. And maybe they think, well, I've already built this friend group. I've already built this community. I've already built this identity or this persona. And Spirit's saying, yeah, but it's not who you are here. And if you stay stuck here, then you're not able to expand. So there's also a message here. If you want to talk to this person or hear about this person or something like this, I feel like they're not communicating because they still need to see it and understand it themselves. So it seems very guarded here when it comes to communication. So it's, again, like, how far apart are you guys? You don't hear this person, you don't talk to this person doesn't communicate because they don't fully understand or see. Okay, Virgo energy with this wheat, if I didn't say. Yeah, so that's what I'm getting. And at first I started getting your energy, but that's because this person, like, you overtook the reading at first, the bigger energy. But I do feel like how I channeled is like this person's projecting you as larger than life in some way. And it's like they're the ones trying to project themselves as that, but you're really doing it and embodied in it. And so it's like, that's what I tell myself that I am, or what I want to be seen as, even if others are sort of seeing me in this way, but it's actually not necessarily true in my core, because my core is a different vibration here. And so I need to reach this state of tapping into the truth of who I am, and then letting it come on the outside. And you're already doing this thing, regardless if you're the one that's, a performer or whatever. It doesn't matter here. What matters is the truth. What matters is who's in ego or who's putting on a show. And I feel like there's a beautiful energy that they see that's projected onto you, that you're spiritual, graceful, magical, supportive, wise. So much so that I feel there's this vampiric energy on you because you're going to emotionally feed me what I'm missing here. A person feels peaceful in your energy. This person sees you as the ultimate here, and that they can't impact you in one way or another here because you're the master of your own creations and your own emotions, and you're guided by something greater than them. And this is what they wish that they could attain or be in some way, But there's divine protection in this experience for sure. And so spirit is guiding there to be a harvest, to be the abundance here, for there to be experienced abundance, not just a dream or a vision we can't quite attain. There's wishes fulfilled, there's attaining or desire, but how to get to this thing is through this process, seeing through and really seeing the core of what's not real or what's the toxicity here. And it's the thinking or the egoic beliefs or the superficial way that we're sort of seeing ourselves. So this person is definitely moving in an energy that your energy moves in. And so if you're ascending, growing spiritually, I feel this person hangs on every word energetically of yours, is sort of moving in the direction in which your soul is calling this person to grow and move. And work through their 4 energy, because I do feel it's sort of a stagnant energy. Okay, 4 + 1 is 5, and 5 is this change and this need for shift and this need to deal with things that we don't like to deal with 5s, because 5 means my whole world sort of flips upside down. And maybe especially if I'm already have an established community or people are seeing me in this image, then it's like I don't want to risk it with the dice. Risk it, That's this Aquarius energy. It's like then I'd have to take a chance on being different or risking my everything that I've created here. But if it's not really them, then they're not really risking anything. But that's from fear. And all this Aquarius energy is like your person might be very much being called to like fulfill a dream here, like really like some sort of purpose that they're sleeping on or not taking action on because there's too much risk according to their fear. It would be too much change. And so I'm sort of not opening that or revealing that or doing that. And so here I follow this energy that's showing me a greater way in order for me to get the abundance that I can experience. So This was interesting. Pile number 2, you'll have to let me know how it resonated for you. And if you're drawn to another pile, then I will see you there. All right, bye-bye. Pile number 3. You guys pick this teacup and saucer set and these charms, and we're looking at your person's feelings and thoughts about you at this time. Okay, now keep in mind, like I say, this could be a flip pile. Okay, if it is, then it's your own feelings and thoughts, and sometimes it's blended, so just apply it accordingly. Okay, but I'm going to separate these charms and buttons and stuff, and then I will channel it. Okay, so let's see. So we have the medicine button. It says RX, or the pills. We have bananas, and we have a heart with a shadow of itself, 2 hearts. And then we have Eye of the Beholder. And I do feel like this is just a free button that comes with this as the name of the actual maker of these buttons. But the Eye of the Beholder is like, you know how they say beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Like everyone sort of has their own perception or opinion of certain things. There's no truth. There's just our perceived truth, okay, when it comes to us. Of course, there's always divine truth. So there's the snake. There's a debit card. There's the vine. And there's a big baby over here. Okay, so 45, 7, 14, 39, 64, 76, and 26. And then for initials, could be your person's initials or your own, but we'll channel what this might mean. We have F, D, V, C. Well, lots of initials for this pile. H, I, X, V. We have a flower, and we have a skeleton key. We have an air balloon, and we have some presents, gift boxes wrapped with bows, and we have 2 major arcana pendants. We have the Emperor, and we have the Judgment. Oh, wow. All right, Aries energy. We have a horseshoe, luck and abundance, and I'm getting some Jupiter energy from this. Jupiter is a ruling planet for Sagittarius, Pisces. And then we have a bat, which is the intuition, more Pisces energy. And we have a gem. Oh my gosh, don't tell me we have another horseshoe. Look, you guys, 2 horseshoes. Good luck, it says. 2 horseshoes. Now, they're looking like magnets to me. Magnetically pulled. That's a lot of luck here. Both you and your person might both be either Sagittarius or both Pisces, but it's really giving me both feeling the same way here. Pisces and feelings, and both like envisioning some dream of what you guys want this connection to be, and both you guys are sort of magnetizing this into being. So we have a dress here. So the dress could be the appearance of something, okay, which could signify ego, of course, and vanity, because we have this little treasure trove, and it's open, a treasure box. I love my cat, so we could definitely have a cat, but we can take this as sexual energy here too. So there's some draw to you passionately. Of course, you could flip the pile. There's another flower here. Wow, we're seeing lots of 2s. 2 horseshoes, 2 flowers, beautiful daisies. We see fish. Fish are all about abundance, plunging into our emotions. We have an apple. Apple's also about abundance here. We have a conch seashell. Someone might live near a body of water with this, but shell is usually the defensive energy. Another flower, 3 flowers. Flowers are new beginnings, blossoms. And then we have this camel. Camels can talk about endurance, can talk about storing away our feelings. Yeah. Okay, then is this another conch shell? Look, we have 2 conch shells. And there's a lot of different types of shells in this thing. 2 conch shells and 2 horseshoes and lots of flowers. And then we have this ring. Okay, ring can talk about officialness, contracts, commitments, marriage. And then we have this, I don't know if this is a little boy or a little girl, but it's giving me page energy, inner child. Kind of androgynous too, because I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, so it could be the balanced self coming through here. We have an airplane, so there could be some travel to get to each other by plane. We have an email or a communication via mail, so messages, a dove, peace. We have a zebra, uniqueness. And we have the skull, which could be Scorpio energy, death process. We have a mouse and another mouse. You guys, wow, I'm amazed at the doubles that we're getting and the similar things. 2 mice. This mouse is holding a little heart that says love. And this mouse is holding an artistic paintbrush. So cute. So mice generally talk about like it's 9 swords energy. It's the anxiety. It's the stress. It's like it eats away at us. You know, it could be thoughts. It could be things that ruin the foundation of creating some stability because of all of the destructive sort of energy that might be going on over time. But these mice are like, again, one's holding a heart of love and one's holding this artistic palette. Feels really cute here. Okay, and then we have this pizza pie or a slice of pizza. And then we have an owl. It's talking about the wisdom through experience. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. We have this Tinkerbell or this fairy sitting on the moon. So magic. Tinkerbell could be significant. Then we have this circus tent. So tents are all about temporary situations. Instead of getting secure and grounded and putting up a building, it's a tent. So transient sort of energy that passes, but circus could be a performance of sorts. And then we have this paper clip. So holding things together, maybe like when we hold a bunch of papers together, papers generally have a bunch of words, something with communication. And then we have this party hat. Looks like a birthday hat. But I'm feeling Fool and Magician energy from this hat. So we got some Gemini, some Virgo, and some Aquarius. So, wow, this is interesting. Let me sit here with this. It might take me a little bit with yours because it's kind of a lot. And I might rearrange these so you could skip ahead to get your channeled message. Okay, pile number 3. Let's begin to channel. This might be even more clear as I start to do the channel. There seems to be like Me Too energy, you know, but it's really cute. And I feel it's your person, like Me Too. Like, I feel your energies are beautiful. Okay, of course, your person could be projecting how they're seeing you here, but I feel, and you could flip this reading if it's the other way around, but I feel like even these hearts being like mirrored, okay, is like, I learned from my experience of observing or engaging with you about myself. And I feel like this person is, if you resonate with this pile, I do feel this is a pile where this person's already like really shifted here quite a bit from when you've met them or known them. Because I do feel like it's an emperor energy, okay, which is divine masculine. It doesn't have to be male gender so much as it is a divine masculine that's waking up and has been in the process of waking up at the end of the day, ultimately. And this understanding has been handed to him through an engagement and an experience of observing and engaging with you. And I feel like there's a telepathy between the two of you guys. You know how when you put the seashell at your ear and then you hear it? And I feel like you hear your person hears you. And I feel like it's like, you know, emotionally, it's through the emotional body of how your person's feeling. It might not necessarily be what they're thinking or that sort of telepathy. I feel this telepathy here is connected to emotions. At least this is how this person feels. It's like you can telepathically understand my feelings and I know your feelings. It's like you get each other on the feelings level. Okay, but the logic here with the owl could be coming online in the 3D through way of experience. So we're taking the knowledge and what we've learned logically and we're implementing it through experience here. And so there seems to be emotions, there seems to be logic, there seems to be 3D reflection, and there seems to be a balanced self here. I feel like your person is drawn to you as equally as you're drawn to them. I also feel like there's a pull between both of you guys towards each other. I also feel like this connection is very blessed with the horseshoes here. Very, 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 very blessed. Okay? And I feel like it's blessed here because I do feel like you guys are bringing out the best in each other. I feel like intuition is something that's guided you guys together. I feel like the telepathy is something that's keeping you guys bonded. And I do feel like your person has been or is working through an official commitment here of this connection. However, it might look like, doesn't have to be a marriage per se, an official commitment of honoring you and this connection. I feel like that you guys are working towards peace. This connection has brought peace, internal peace, if anything. Okay, and I do feel like your person sees you as somebody here who is very intuitive, who is very unique, who's very different, who's allowed them to see their differences and allows them to transform in a safe environment. Your person feels like there's something about your energy which feels very refreshing here. It feels very comfortable because it feels almost like I can enjoy myself and I could I don't know what this energy is. It's almost like laying in a field of flowers, you know, where it feels just very fresh. It feels very welcoming. Of course, unless you have allergies. But it feels so like, I don't know, you make this person just feel really, 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 really good, you know? It's like I want to sit here in this energy because all my woes sort of go away. So this person definitely sees you as a true gem, very unique, very one of a kind. Like, I don't think they've ever thought that they'd ever meet someone like you or have ever met someone like you. Okay, and so this might have taken some time for them to overcome this seeing you because it could have been ideal at one time, you know? But there's something here about like, yeah, look, this ring doesn't have the gem in it, sort of missing here. And there's this big fat gem here. So I'm really feeling like, I don't know if your person was in an energy that felt lack before you, or they didn't see their fullest value or capability of what they could be or how they could be or what they could provide. And I feel through an experience of this connection, it's showing them their value and their worth and the different aspects of themselves that I think are coming online, that they're getting to experience in the comfort, because I feel a field of flowers to experience without failure or anything like this. And so this is allowing this person to wake up. It's like my truer nature is to be empowered, to feel the fullness of who I am, to feel like this divine masculine in all his power, which means he doesn't run away. He knows his worth. He knows what he's capable of doing. He honors and respects himself, and he does the right thing in all situations here. And this is what your person is sort of working through, coming online. There's a massive transformation here and an awakening and an ascension. And I feel like this person feels very gifted in your presence. And I feel this person wants to show you appreciation. Okay, they want to show you, but I feel like this is what they've had to sort of overcome. It's like, how can I show you how grateful I am? How can I bless you? because I feel this person feels very, very blessed. Okay, you've made this person feel blessed. And so we're having this bronze piece here. It's like your person felt like they could never really fit in, fit into connection, fit into a world maybe where they were needing to be a certain person in order to have a relationship or connection. And with the bronze, it's like third place. I felt like this feels like your person felt never like in a position to win, or that they were seeing themselves this way. And it's like I could finally start to see that, because when we have someone who truly loves us, it mirrors back to us that we can love those parts of ourselves. We can only see those parts that are lovable when others see it within us. It gives it a life. And so this is why when others love us, it's like, whoa, I can be loved and I can be seen for this. And then I start to see it and it starts to become a real thing in my world. Okay, I feel your person is very attracted to you, like a lot, like you're physically. And your person, if you've had intimacy with this person, like physically, sexually, I feel your person really likes that, and almost taking like claim over that. Like they feel really flattered, like you're their person. Okay, and I feel like your person is sometimes lost when it comes to their emotions. And I feel they have been, because I feel like in order for them to really understand themselves, they were having to plunge the truths of their feelings. And maybe this was very difficult to navigate, but it feels to me like you're by this person's side. It's feeling very magnetic, meaning you've been guiding this person's ability to feel safe in their emotions, to maybe get lost or plunge in there, but not get too aimless. Like there's a purpose to this person, which I feel prior to you, they might have been like losing purpose or not sure of their purpose. And so I think both of you guys maybe at one time might have ran from this connection, or there's a mirroring here about the anxieties about being the other, or like meeting the other here, giving the other love, or what you guys can create. I also feel like your person could be very artistic, with paintbrushes or just through words, or they could be a writer, could be a poet, could be a singer, songwriter, a lyricist, or something like this. Okay, but it's really the manifestation. And I feel like there's still fear here, because I think your person still has doubt for sure. But it's like, I want to manifest and create with pile number 3, because I feel a lot of luck and abundance here in pile 3's presence. And so I feel like this person might still be very challenged with opening up and communicating. And I think this is someone who acts out of doing, acts of service, gifts and service. It's like what I do or what I can offer to you, to me, shows you how I feel, because I'm not very good with the feelings so much. I might get lost, even though they feel very deep. There's a very deep, deep, deep person here, spiritually and emotionally. But it's like, in order to open up and communicate, it's I might not necessarily know how, or I flounder here in some way. And so I want to show you through commitment. And so this seems to be somebody who is emotionally still young, spiritually still young, potentially, when it comes to how to let themselves sort of let their emotions be wild in some way. And I feel they feel this from you. It feels like, I don't know, hippie love, but hippie love's like free love, but obviously not like a bunch of sexual partners, so much as it is like free to love, free to express, freedom. Like it feels like I could be myself. I can like be completely naked, running around and not be judged. So it really is telling me your person doesn't feel judged by you. This person, like, even if they did have strong fears about being judged or rejection at one point, because I do feel there was something at one point that this person was having a difficult time accepting, but it's like, I could feel free to be me and not be judged. And this liberates me. This helps me see the truer version of me. And I do feel your person was having a very hard time settling or feeling at home. And maybe feeling like the odd person. It does feel like, I don't know if they got made fun of, or if they just felt like they were always different, or too eclectic, too unique, the people might have judged them, made them feel uncomfortable, and they never really felt warm and welcomed. And so they're like, whoa, like I finally met the treasure here, you know? And if some of you guys have like I'm seeing white, it could be symbolic, but like a white dress or a red dress or a black dress that looks kind of like this. I think your person has it sort of in their mind. So I don't know if they liked you in that dress, but like I said, symbolic. The white dress, the purity. The red dress could certainly be the passion. Okay, and then the black dress could certainly be the transformation that they've observed. So you might have shifted and transformed yourself, because here we have this mirroring happening on both sides. So you might have gone from like this version that they might have known you to this beautiful, more pure self, authentic self. But either which way, I feel like you've opened up where this person might have not have seen their jewel, you know, or might have seen their the gift that they were. Because if they were really like told, or they believed whatever people were making them feel, it's like, I'll just lock my treasure to myself. I won't open this up. It's like, yeah, they feel like you've seen them, you've witnessed them, they can open up here with you. Okay, magical, there's this fairy, it does feel very guided. I feel like there's next to little fear here when it comes to the emotional side of like connecting with you. It feels very safe for this person. Doesn't mean that they're communicating, okay, because I feel there's closed here, but I feel like the emotions feel very allowed to connect, and they're being guided to connect, and they feel like you can sense their energy here. They feel the magic between the two of you guys. Okay, it feels like a very profound connection here, where both of you guys were required to sort of rise above maybe your typical way of engaging in connection. So slow going. This is, like I said, a test of endurance, which means might have taken quite some time to get to this stage, because the camel goes through the desert here. And I do feel like because of this block with communication, it could be their emotions are still sort of stored on the inside here. It's like, I still haven't fully expressed how I feel. But I do feel like your person, if you are at a distance, they want to bridge that. They want to come towards you. They want to travel towards you by any means here. But I do feel it's been slow going. And I feel it's consistent. And it's a dedication they have here to this connection. Okay. And I do feel like your person wants to celebrate you. It feels like a party here. Okay. But yeah, so I feel like healing, rewarding, mirroring, and I feel like there's something about not feeling worthy enough with this debit card in the material world. So it's like, I can't give you the material things maybe that I felt I needed to give to you financially here. And it's like, I saw myself as someone here who was like, you know, emotionally premature, like somebody who was still needing to learn, because we have this baby energy. And it's like, I had to climb out of this. I had to let this thing sort of grow over time. I had to shed the false self and let the healed version of me come online. I had to get comfortable with understanding that maybe I had perceptions here that might have not have necessarily been accurate. And I feel this connection, it has been very much the key here to the medicine that we were needing in order to change perceptions of ourselves. I think you guys both got to change the perception of how you see yourself, or how you perform maybe in front of each other. It's like, I can now see and perceive it differently. I'm also hearing laughter is the best medicine. So I'm feeling like, yeah, there could be, you guys have a very similar sense of humor. Yeah, sense of humor is really coming in. I was hearing cheeky monkey. So you guys could be very sarcastic. They could be, you guys can both have witty sarcasm here. Okay, some of you guys might really like bananas here. And so I feel like there's a whole bunch of things your person still hasn't told you. And I think they're holding it to themselves and keeping it together, because I feel like there's a part of them that wants to come express, but I feel like there's going to be a lot that's been not said to you. There's a lot here that they feel. There's a lot here that they sense you feel, but there's a lot they haven't expressed and released in way of words. But it's like, I'll show you, and I want to be in your world, and I want to appreciate you, and I want to be of service, and I want to do all this stuff here. I also feel like this person, not for all of you guys, but for some of you guys, this person might have had just a challenging ex, like an ex-partner maybe, that's made them feel less than, or maybe their very first connection might have been at an influential point in time where then they just carried a belief that they were judged or weren't lovable in some way, if they were trying to be controlled, or they were just judged. Maybe someone's projected on them. Also feel like there is your person feeling very renewed when they, like, every day seems like a brand new day for this person with you, which seems very nice. Like they really look forward to their interactions with you. It's like a brand new sort of day for them. It feels really nice. Like they like the feeling of this. They like to look forward to this, and maybe they didn't have a lot to look for. Like I said, there was an energy of, now I have something to sort of live for, or get up for, or drive for, And yeah, it feels very much divine here with the intuition, the guidance, and the telepathy. It's very much guided by spirit and by these deeper emotions that we can't quite maybe understand, but it's just we're pulled and we're blessed. Is there anything else, Spirit? Spirit's talking about allowing ourselves to gain all the perspectives that we can understand is the best way to heal and shed, and not to get stuck with any sort of fixed ideas, because there's many different sides to this connection. Okay, and the more you sort of can sit with, not necessarily that they're all absolutely true, but that those different aspects could certainly be different parts of this connection that might need to be understood by you. And the more you can do this, the more your person sort of understands aspects of themselves that they can't quite see. And this is the answer, the solution here to experiencing the future, whatever is next to come here, because I feel like this is through a process of experience, using the knowledge through the experience in order for us to shift things and be able to have this transformation of this connection and release certain things, because I feel there's certain perceptions that you guys might carry that might be very sort of fixed still. And the medicine or the solution or the healing of this thing will be when I understand, if I'm too fixed on one understanding or seeing something in a very fixed set way, it's not necessarily true. And so there's a need to sort of flow, and there's a need to be curious, and a need to sort of be innocent and childlike in this exploration here. Okay, I also feel there's a karmic thing coming through. So like a karmic debt potentially that's having to be worked through, which could have been why we were sort of stuck. Whatever the karmic debt looked like. It's like we had to sort of pay our dues or understand what we were needing to understand here. Okay, but it really to gain the higher perspective or to be on the higher understanding is to rise above certain fixed ideas and stories, because then we could really limit the progress. And so if this is going slow, if your person does seem like to be withholding their emotions or blocked in communication, the Spirit is saying, if you want the movement here, then there's a need to sort of be able to open up one's own energy here to from a higher perspective and see things from a different sort of aim. Now, there is a potential for both of you guys to sort of overwhelm each other. Okay, now I'm getting strong earth from this vine, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, but it's like, and Scorpio from the snake. But I feel like it's like consuming one another. And if we consume one another with our own monopoly of energy, this is my cat scratching at the door, it stifles out the authenticity in the other person. And so if you guys like to spend time together, this could be spirit saying like, there could be drowning in the other sort of energy, you know, which feels nice here because it does feel like this beautiful springtime energy and just, like I said, carefree, sort of hippie-like energy, especially with the earth again. But it's like the vine sort of overtakes the fence, the deck, the house. Like the vine sort of grows all over everything, and it keeps growing and growing, and even over trees where it's sort of, the tree can die if the vines get too much. It needs to be maintained and trimmed and like how we want it to go, you know, not that you need to control each other or that you are a doer that you can control, but it's like the wildness here of the growth can be consuming and overwhelming and overtake, you know, so we have to sort of know when our perception might be fixed in some way, and we have to allow this connection to grow sort of where it's acceptable rather than overtaking sort of parts of us, especially with this. So it's overtaking. You know how when a magnet gets close and it kind of like just sucks the other magnet like right away, you know, if they're very strong magnets. And so that's this, there's a pull, and then we could all of a sudden become one. And my cat doesn't like me in here by myself, and I feel badly. Give me a second. Oh, you're going out. I thought you were coming in. Go, 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 go. Sorry, didn't need to trap you in here. I thought he wanted to come in, and he was in here and he wanted to go out, so he probably had to pee. So yeah, like just to be aware, because like it's good to feel oneness for sure, okay, but not where we lose our sense of ourself because we get sort of sucked into someone else's world where we're just sort of losing ourself, okay, because of course we're autonomous beings, we have our own core self, and we could be parallel with someone else and come together as two individuals, but there seems to be like losing each other and each other's sort of energy here. So this tells me that there might still be this 5D energy stuff that happens where we could just lose track of time. We can like just lose ourselves in the other without, you know, feeling like independently free with our energy. And so we could really feel drained very easily, or we could lose, like if a person is sort of in an energy that overtakes us where we're not feeling like control over our own sort of energy. So our emotions and all of that stuff is always under our own control. Nobody can override you energetically, okay, unless of course you believe in that, or you're like allowing this thing, because your energy shifting is all under your own control. And you're the master manifester. So I feel like there's also a message about your person coming forward with some form of gift of love. Okay, like I did say, that comes through as your person wanting to be acts of service and gifts, but I feel like it's coming through as like officialness here, or like a promise, you know, a commitment, an officialness, something that they're wanting that they haven't communicated to you, that I feel this person is about to roll out here. And I always say about to, like, of course, we don't see timing so much as it is, this is the energy that's building up to this formal commitment of an offering of love expressed by this person. Because I do feel it's been something that's been unspoken sort of up until now, but there's no denying this truth, and your person sees this truth. And I feel like it was taking a while for them to build the confidence in themselves to know that they were in a position in the 3D world to create some form of reality here. Because like I said, whatever their beliefs were, it was like, I won't fit in, and I haven't fit in, or I was just the outside person here, and I don't know that I have enough or can be enough to reflect back to you what you deserve. Yeah, so this could definitely be your person's initials or your initials here, okay, the stuff we see here, but I wasn't getting too much other than just your person being happy to be like every day to like experience you, you know, like to see you initially is like, whoa, not that it dies off in any way, but it's like this warmth to their heart. I feel like you bring this energy towards them that they really enjoy marinating in, you know? So, yeah, this is what I see, pile number 3. I hope this helped you. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. And if you were drawn to another pile, then I'll see you there. And I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.